Hospital Road, Aba. Ekele doctor. MP Uzoma. Omun Kombano. Onmene. Anya kan nenegi. Anya kan nenegi. Neso penda tungaka. Neso penda tungaka. Waka sinine me sinine na gani kona manegu. Mani sinine me sinine na gani kona manegu. Ina kapa kupansi. Ina kapa kupaga. Niba bunena jende. No kuba na baru kasinda bayi sibiya no duya. No kuba na baru kasinda bayi sibiya nikeye. Nanya na makoda ko. Nanya mapapande kuna na bayi do solo mubebe. Ya kare kwa na dwe. Ekele mabili kona. Ekele mabili kona. Yeah, alrighty. What's up, family and friends? Welcome to the Woke Nation, our nation of factual truth, where we feel free to share knowledge and spread the knowledge of factual truth without fear, without favor, and without faith. Where we encourage us to live our life and live it well through the knowledge of factual truth. Because knowledge is supreme, knowledge is the greatest. Love is not the greatest, love is a lie because love has to do with the law, with commandment. That's why God is love and the love is of God. You know that God is non existent and useless in reality. So, love is just feelings people feel, it's a fake feeling. You know, they can tell you they love you just to get you, to make you trust them, to make you believe in them, to make you have faith in them, but they don't really love you. That's why they tell you that their God so much so loved the world. He gave his only begotten son. Then he turn around and say that if you don't believe in that son, that love is bullshit. You will perish. So why loving the world in the first place if the sacrifice is not enough to keep them from being down, from being perishing, or being perished? Why are you wasting your time saying you're loving them and sacrificing? So if you still have to perish after the sacrifice of Jesus, that means Jesus died in vain. That sacrifice is nonsense. It doesn't work. And if Jesus is alive, that means Jesus didn't die for you. So, but if you believe that Jesus died for you and rose again from the dead, and you cannot see Jesus now, you know you are being stupid. If you believe somebody is alive, so you need to see that person you say that is alive. It's simple. And that's actually the area I want to discuss on today, area of faith. So I titled this, If It Need Faith, if it require faith, whatever it is, or whoever it is, if it require faith, it is fake. If it requires your faith, you have to have faith for that thing to bless you, for that thing to work for you, for that thing to favor you. It is fake. That's why they make God invisible. And it requires your faith for that God to be real. They tell you that no one has seen God at any time, but you need faith. You need to have faith in God. No one has seen God at any time. When you read John chapter 1, verse 18, he said, no one has seen God at any time, but his only begotten who is in his bosom. Even that his begotten have not seen God. He said, no one has seen God. But they managed to create the one they call his begotten, only begotten. He said, he has come to declare him. Not that he has come to make way for God to show up, for people to see God. And that's why when his disciples waited to see God, he came to declare. They asked him, they told him, show us the Father. He said, enough. That's all. That is sufficient for us. Just show us the Father. He said, why are you telling me this, Philip? Come on, I've been with you all this while. He that seen me has seen my Father. That's nonsense. Somebody that tell you, he that has seen me has seen my Father, it's nonsense. And that guy never anywhere in that book said, he that seen me has seen my mother. He that seen me has seen my father and my mother. And many of us buy that nonsense idea, that evil idea. We always separate our father from our mother. It's supposed to be wherever you're talking about your father, your mother must be there too. It's supposed to be father and mother, male and female. Anything that separates us, separates male from female, is evil. Jesus kept talking about his father without talking about his mother. And when they ask him, show us this father you're talking about, you say he's alive, he's not dead. Show us this father. Say, he that seen me has seen the Father. You see? So believe me. That's what he asks people to believe. Not know. He did not even say no. He said, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. Believe me because of the works. You see how they twisted it. And that's why you see even grudges, people that you think that they are learned, people that you think they are aged, people that you think they have wisdom through experience. They believe that nonsense. They believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Whether they are Muslims, whether they are Christians, they believe that. Whether they are the Hebrew Israelites, they believe that. They call it Yehoshua. It's the same bullshit. It doesn't matter the name you call it. Jesus, Yehoshua, never existed in human history as a person. It's just a word they made up. It's just a name they made up. It's just a creature they created. And Jesus was unable to show his Father in the book. Then in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 8, Peter, they wrote there, they said that Jesus you have not seen and you cannot see, yet you believe in him and you love him. He said, words cannot express how glad you are to be saved. That is exactly what believers are doing. They have faith, and the faith is fake. If it requires faith, it is fake. The reason why they tell you to have faith in God, because God is fake. The reason why they tell you to have faith in Jesus, have the faith of the Lord, have the faith of Christ, have the faith in Jesus Christ, is because Jesus Christ is fake. I mean the Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Son of God, as recorded in the Bible, is fake. As recorded in the Quran, is fake. As recorded, or Yehoshua, as recorded in any other book, is fake. If Jesus is real, if Jesus is not fake, you will see Jesus today because they say he died and rose again, or because they say he's the Son of God, or because they say he's from God. So if you cannot see God, if he's invisible, and they said it requires your faith, then you don't need it. It is what is calm. It is fake. But you see, many grown up, they are still saying they are living by faith. I don't live by faith, I live by sight. So, Jesus, you have not seen. God, you have not seen, you believe. And you see some of them try to argue out with, you cannot see the air. But no, it doesn't make sense what you just say. Did I tell you the air is God? I can make air myself. When you see, I am blowing air I make air. Air is, I can make air. What can you do with God? What can you that believe in God do with God in reality? Tell me one thing, just one thing, not many, just one thing you can do with God. Nothing. There is nothing you can do with God. Air, you can bottle air. You can put air in a tank. You see where they use air to do things. They use air to pump your tire. What can you do with God? Why can't you think? You said I still believe. You are saying you are still stupid. And that's what blind faith is all about. You believe blindly. That is blind faith. You cannot tell me you have seen the God you believe in. You cannot tell me you have seen the Jesus you have believed in. It's impossible. It's like saying you have seen a dragon. It's like saying you have seen a Spider-Man. No, it's only in book, in movies. You can read and see them, but not in reality. So if it requires faith, it is fake. That's why they make it invisible. They tell you God is invisible. But even their book never said that Jesus is invisible. Jesus never said he'll be invisible. No. He said he will be with them. He said where 2 or 3 of them gather his name, he will be in their midst. But the reason why I mentioned Jesus in this first step of if it requires faith, it is fake, because many of them believe, oh, Jesus has come to show God. Jesus can't. If you believe in Jesus, you have. That's nonsense. Okay, I'm in America. I've shown America that I have a father in Africa. If I cannot produce that my father, if they need to see my father, that means I am lying. Maybe my father died long time ago, but I lied to them that I still have a father. Maybe for some benefit, which is exactly what Christianity is doing with your brain or with you. So they make God incorporeal, invisible. They make Jesus invisible. But if you read like Luke chapter 24, verse 36 to 43, Jesus never said he's a spirit. Jesus never said that. And they tell you that God is a spirit. If God is a spirit, how can you see a spirit that he has right hand? And you say Jesus is sitting or standing at his right hand. How can you say that you know Jesus, God is a spirit, and you're talking about God sitting on the throne, spirit sitting on the throne? How can you talk about God is a spirit and he believe he created in his own image, yet you say you cannot see that God whose image you are? If it requires faith, it is because it is fake. The second one, it is because it is a scam. If it requires faith, there is no knowledge in it. You cannot have faith and knowledge at the same time. You cannot say, I believe what I know. No, you don't believe what you know. You demonstrate what you know. You show what you know. That's why when they hire you, they don't hire you by faith. You cannot become an employee to any employer or in any company by faith. But you see stupid people saying they are graduates by faith. It is God that made it possible. Excuse me? Didn't you study and sat for the exam? And you are saying now it is God that made it possible? Huh? If God made it possible, then that God is so stupid that he cannot make it possible for you to become that without studying and sitting for the exam. If God can make it possible for you to pass an exam, what stopped that God from making it possible for you to have that knowledge or gain that thing without going through somebody that is not even believing God teaching you, and you start to examine, then you came out and said, it is by God's grace, it is by God's mercy, it is by God's strength. You are lying to yourself. You cannot believe in God and tell me you are a truthful person. There is no person, if I find out you believe in God, you are not a truthful person. Anyone that believes in God is not that person is lying to himself. So how can you trust? That's why don't trust anyone that believes in God. They can they can do anything. They can kill you at any time. They can betray you at any time because they believe in God the same way. They didn't see God, they believe. So they can change at any time. You see, politicians, how they switch party anytime. Oh, you don't for me here, for me. They switch. If it requires faith, if you need faith, it is a scam. It is an extortion. They want to deceive you, they want to rob you. It's a scam to get something from you. Mm. When you read like 2 Peter chapter 2, it talks about how people will come up with strange doctrines. Yeah. Believing God is strange teaching. Believing in heaven is strange teaching. Believing Jesus Christ is strange teaching. There's miracle in Jesus' name is a strange teaching. Is foreign. Is a foreign teaching. It's against nature. It is evil. And they do that to exploit people. Many following them. They're exploiting them. It is a scam. If it requires faith, they will not allow you to ask questions. They will not allow you to verify. They so just believe. If you doubt, you will not receive. Think. You mean that if I sacrifice, if I put in all my work, because I doubt, I will not receive? You mean if I sow, because I doubt, I will not receive? That is evil. That is a scam. And that's what scammers do. You invest in it and you end up getting nothing. And that's why people they scam get up. I have been scammed before. If you have been scammed before, you understand what I'm saying. You know, you feel terrible, you feel horrible. In fact, you see yourself as you feel as if you can detach yourself from yourself. You will detach yourself and beat yourself thoroughly. Say, next time, never you do that. You trust that person blindly. That's why they scam you. You didn't ask too much question. You were in a hurry. Let me get it. Let me get it. That's why you see sometimes when you want to make money, that's when they scam you, and you find out you begin to cry. You begin to curse them, but it is done. You cannot reverse it. That's it. Unless you have many information about that person and you have what it takes to arrest that person, you can find them. Okay. But you know what we go through. That's why you see some people today, they cannot trust, they cannot trust anybody. Not because they don't want to be, because of what they have been through, what they have experienced from people. Some people you see in your village today, you say they are rich. They scam people to be that. Imagine if you are one of the people they scam. And some people even self, when they scam you, you come out and saying this person scam me. They say you are jealous of him, you are envious of him. You know what he sacrificed to make that money. Just as what they say when you're talking about the evil of all these ministers of gospel. They say you are envious. Envious for what? Envious about what? When you're talking about what the politicians are doing, do I say you are envious? When you see facts, you speak fact. But because fact is against your belief, against your faith, against your leader, against your teacher, now you are kicking against fact. You are calling it jealousy or envy. If it requires faith, if it needs faith, it is a scam. If it needs faith, the third one, it is a lie. It is a lie. For example, when you read in the Bible, Hebrew chapter 6, verse 18, Oh, I forgot to tell you, welcome to Bible study. No, I have Bible knowledge, so I use it to open the eyes of our people. In Hebrews chapter 6, verse 18, he said, it is impossible for God to lie. Now, if you don't know the Bible, you will think that is true. But if you know the Bible in Genesis chapter 2, verse 16 and 17, and chapter 3, verse 1 to 11, you will find out that God is a liar. God lied. He said, the day they eat of this fruit, they will surely die. The day they ate it, they did not die. Their eyes opened. They found out they are naked. They covered themselves. And they heard the voice of that liar. They hide. The same way you will hide from anyone, you separate yourself from anyone that lied to you, true or false. Think. And you are afraid to do anything with them again. That's why when he said, Adam, Adam, where are you? Adam said, I was afraid, or I hide. I was afraid of you. You are a liar. You said that I eat this fruit, I will surely die. But I ate it, I did not die. My eyes opened. I saw my penis dangling, I have to cover it. Because that's what common sense will tell you to do. But God created you without common sense. God created you without knowledge. Another place, when they find out, if you say, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Of course, because that's how you made them. Not Africans. Not me. I don't perish for lack of knowledge. Africans today are not perishing for lack of knowledge. Africans are perishing because of wickedness leaped upon them. In slavery, in colonialism, and all those things that foreign people brought and heaped on us. That's why we are perishing, not for lack of knowledge. We don't perish for no, we stay in slavery for lack of knowledge. But when you know the truth, boom, you come out. We cannot perish for lack of knowledge. No. It's in our blood to know. We know. Then you force us to keep believing. They don't want you to know, they want you to believe, because the more you believe, the more you cement your slavery, the more you polish the chains, so the chains will not be broken. But immediately you gain knowledge, that chain is broken. You destroy the chains and free yourself. If it requires faith, it's a lie. God is a lie. Jesus is a lie. Heaven is a lie. You know, any promise they give to you is a lie. If it requires faith, it's fake, it's a scam, and it's a lie. Come man sells faith and the hope to the gullible to enrich themselves. And you see the gullible clapping for them. Somebody is selling faith and the hope to you. After you buy it with your hard-earned money, you gave them your money in the name of offering, in the name of tithe, as you did yesterday in the church, as you do when you go for midweek service, as you do when you go for Bible study. Can't you think, why is it every of your gathering they ask you for money? If God is real and God exists and God can do all things, there is no reason for you to give them any money. There's no reason for you to give them anything to support the work of God. Unless that God is dead. Can you support the children of a rich man unless that rich man is dead? That rich man is alive, helping people, and they have his own children. Then you are the one who say, no, I want to support the children of this rich man. And you are poor. You must be stupid to do that. And but that's what religion has turned people into. Stupid people. You believe what the common man is selling to you, selling you faith and the hope. Believe God can do all things. Bring your money. Then hope he will do it for you. He don't do it. You keep going. You keep believing without seeing. You keep believing without seeing what you believe. You keep believing. That's stupidity. You come loaded. You come with money in your pocket, in your wallet, in your hand. You come to their service. You come to their worship place. Then they ask you to offload, you offload, and you leave empty-handed. All you have is hope of miracle, hope of blessing, hope of breakthrough, hope of, unlimited favor. That's, you came loaded and leave empty-handed. And this because of what nonsense that is written in the Bible. You say you must not appear before him empty-handed. And they tell you they are no longer under the law, but not when it comes to offering and the tithes. No, you're still under the law. You must bring offering, and it's money now. Although under the law, the offerings were agricultural, but now they say they are no longer under the law. They turn it into grace. Then in grace, and they tell you that the grace of God is free of charge. No, you have to pay. You have to show God appreciation. You have to show God that, yeah, thank you for saving me. Excuse me. Did God ask you before he created you? Then why do God need anything from you to save you? This is simple, understand it. When you read a place like Exodus chapter 34 verse 20, Exodus 23:15, and Deuteronomy 16 and 17, it requires you must come with something. You never appear before God empty-handed. A God that created you naked. He did not create you with anything. He did not give you anything. But he said, now you must come. You're supposed to know that when it comes to Levitical priesthood, it was what come men, designed to rob people. You see, they have 12 tribes. The 11 tribes will walk and bring 10% of it to the one tribe of peace. They are priests. They are representing God. Can't you think? It's a financial business. It's control thing. And you believe, yeah, that's the right way. It's not. You need some God. If you don't work, don't eat. So why should you be taking care of the priest? Let priest go and work. They tell you, it's God. He's doing it for God. Fuck that. Say, don't come. You must come with blessings to show that God has blessed you. You remember that video where the Reverend Father was upset? He said, all this thing with this, only this amount we get. Are you telling me God is not blessing you? God is not blessing anybody with money. You cannot tell civil servants God is blessing them with money. No, they work, the government pay them. You cannot tell employees that God is blessing them. No, they work, they pay them. And why are you expecting me to give to God, who you say he created the whole thing? Why is the servant of God, a minister of God, need money from people in the first place if God exists? Say you must appear with God. Before God with something. You cannot appear empty-handed. Yet you are born empty-handed. You are not born with money. You are not born with anything to give to God. Then you labored. And they tell you it's God blessing. No, it's not. It's your might. It's your blessing. You are the one blessing yourself. When you are eating, you are blessing yourself. When you are walking, you are blessing yourself. There's no God doing anything for you. Faith is fake. Faith is lie. Faith is scam. And hope is ignorance. And these two things are rooted in fear of the unknown. That's why they get you. Fear of God. God is unknown, yet you fear. Hope of what will happen. You'd fear. You don't want bad thing to happen. You don't want evil to befall you. You don't want curse to come before you. You don't want any misfortune to follow you. Then you hope. You keep hoping. Some of you, your relations are in prison, in abroad, or somewhere that you don't know. But you hope. The one day they will come home with they will come with this. And some of them that have some hint about you, they begin to see visions for you, dreams. God will do this. That your son will come with this. That your blah, 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 blah. These things are natural things you're supposed to know, even yourself. I remember one of my cousins, Mentus Esiobo, he's late now. But when he went to Libya, and for years he didn't come back, her mother also, who is late, was troubled. And I was an evangelist that time. She was troubled. I said to her, because she heard that somebody said that Mel has died. Mel is this guy, I grew up with him, from childhood. I said, no, he will come back. He will come back. He's not dead. And the guy came back. Imagine what some parents are going through in the hand of all these criminals you call ministers of God, you call prophets of God, because they haven't seen their children or their son, their daughter, and they keep believing nonsense, some nonsense they see in the dream or in the vision or somebody telling them. You need to wake up, my people. Stop having faith and hope. Faith and hope will make your life miserable. Look at those who are living by faith and having hope in God or Jesus. Look at how miserable their life is. The real people that are living in faith and hope are the ones all these criminals or men are using to build their churches, using to build their ministries. And those ones, they will never get rich because they are there genuinely. Just as I was when I was in Christianity. I was a genuine Christian. I was a genuine minister of the gospel. I was not there because maybe things are hard for me, then I have to jump in. I was not there because somebody prophesied, say, this is what God wants you to do because things are hard for you. No, I was not there because of fame. I was not there because of position. I was not there for all that. No, I wanted to be like Jesus and make heaven at last. Not knowing that Jesus never existed. I was only believing. But now I know better. You cannot know better and still have faith. You cannot know better and still believing without seeing. What makes you human being is you believe and then you see what you believe. You don't stop at believing. Grow up. Believing is like saying you are a child. That's what children believe. Children don't know nothing. They believe whatever parents say. That's why you become a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim. What your parents brought, a traditionalist, your parents brought you inside that bullshit. It was never your choice. You never chose to be that. But as an adult, now you want to see. You don't want to believe anymore. You need to see. As a child, you believe your father is the strongest man in the whole world. Every child believes that. My daddy is the higher one. He grow up. If he find out he can even beat his own father. Why are you paying for the invisible? Why are you paying for the lie? Why are you paying for the scam? Why are you paying for what is fake? Why? They have bewitched you. And you think that's right. No, it's not the right thing to do. Look at it. You cannot see God. I mean, yeah, you cannot see God, but you can hear God. That's a lie. They tell you, you know you cannot see God, but you can hear the voice of God. God can direct you. I cannot see God, but I can hear his voice. He said, I cannot see God with my eyes, but I can hear his voice. God has a voice, and God is a spirit. I cannot see him, but I can hear his voice. It is a lie. It is fake. They are deceivers. They are scammers. You need to trust them. They are called men of God. You tell me God is a spirit. Spirit has no form. So how are you telling me about the hand of God coming upon me? How are you telling me about God working anything for me? It's a spirit. That's what you say. When you talk about the hand of God coming upon me, now you're talking about somebody like me. And if I can see myself, if I'm real, and God have the same characteristics like myself, then I need to see God. I don't need anyone to see God for me. I don't need anyone to speak for God to me. No, let God speak for Himself. I want to see God for myself with my eyes. I don't want to see the God you have seen in your vision, in your dream, in your revelations. No, I want to see the God that is real. I want to see God face to face myself. But you cannot see God because God is fake. You cannot see God because God is a lie. You cannot see God because God is a scam. God does not exist. I'm not saying this in my heart to confirm Psalm chapter 14, verse 1. No, I'm saying it with my mouth. You can read my lips too. There is no God. It's only fools that say that in their heart, but the wise say it with their mouth. There is no God. They tell you, remember, you on that day on the mountain, you saw fire, you saw lightning, you didn't see God. You only had a voice. You only had a voice, no form. You can read it in the book of Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 12. I think verse 15 also. That's how they built God. So on the mountain. Okay, what if somebody else is behind the mountain and speaking? Let me let me demonstrate something. So for you to understand when they say that bullshit, I can use my video for that. Because then the sun turned us, make us dark. No, we are naturally dark. I don't like my skin turning white. Now, the voice you just heard is the voice of God. God is a spirit, and God just spoke. Did you see me move my lips? No. Did you see me speak? No. It was God speaking, and God has spoken. You heard what God said? Do you believe that? If you don't believe that, why do you believe what they wrote in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Torah, telling you is the word of God? Because somebody wrote it. If you doubt what I just did now, if you don't believe what I just did now, but you're a believer in God, you're a believer in Jesus, you are stupid. You have been bewitched. That's why. You can even speak against facts. You can fight against facts. Listen, it is a lie and a scam to deceive and rob you your hard-earned money. That's what it is. If it requires faith, it is a lie and scam to deceive and rob you your hard-earned money or enslave you, control you. When you read a place like Matthew chapter 24, verse 11, it said that many prophets will rise and deceive many. Every prophet is a lie. Every prophet is false. And every prophet is a deceiver. All of them. It doesn't matter who they are. Whether they are my parents, they are liars. They are false. And they are deceivers. Then he show you what those prophets will be saying. He said, for many Christ and many false prophets will rise and show great wonders, signs and wonders to deceive many. I'm not moved by what they're showing. It's show that show they're performing show. That show cannot put food on my table, so I don't need it. Going to church cannot put food on my table. I don't need it. Mm-mm. You cannot hear God. I mean, you cannot see God, but you can hear God. That is a scam. That is a lie designed to deceive and exploit you or extort you, take your hard-earned money, or control you. That's what religion is all about. That's what ministry or church, anything that has God or Jesus attached to it, that's all it's all about. To deceive and rob you, then control you. Take for an example a car dealer. At least, let me tell you this. It is, if you say you want to believe in God, but I want you to believe in God as you can believe in a car dealer or in a car. But let me come. A car dealer, let me ask you this question. Will you, in your right mind, just buy a car just because a car dealer tell you that car is good, is well, and you just buy that car without you seeing the car and test that car? Will you do that? You are in your right senses. You are in your right mind. You can think for you can think and speak for yourself. Will you buy a car just at the word of a car dealer? Believe in God as you believe in a car. Can you do that? Can you buy a car without testing that car? Tell yourself the truth. Stop being hypocrite. You believe in God without seeing God, but you don't believe businessmen without seeing the goods. You say, no, show me. Even you demand for sample of the you touch it. Yeah, okay, this is the sample. Okay, now I'm trusting you, and that's why some of them show you sample, and that sample is original. Then they say you fake one. If you have been in business, yeah, you must have done that. I've done that as a businessman before. When you are going to show them what you will supply, you show them England material, American material, high quality material. But when it comes to supply it, yeah, China, made in China. Of course, that's how we make money. That's how business people, there's no business person that can say their hand is clean. No. There's no rich person that has clean hands. None of them. From A to Z, it doesn't matter who they are. And that's the only way you can be rich. You want to be rich? Be ready to soil your hand. You cannot be rich with clean hands. No, people with clean hands are poor. Comment says you cannot see God and you cannot taste God. It's like a car dealer telling you that you cannot see the car and you cannot taste the car. Don't tell, oh no, don't worry. Just believe what I say. Give me the money. When you get to your house, the car will come. You say what? And some people has been duped like that by believing the car dealer. They go, the car still not come. I pay for this car since I haven't seen. Oh, he said it's coming, it's coming. Because your money has entered their hands. Now they can do whatever. What are you gonna do? Especially when you give them that money without evidence. Some of you, out of trust, you give them the money, no receipt. Not you just I trust him. He's a friend to my husband or friend to my brother or my father. Or that you are connected to that person in somehow. That person end up betraying you. Believe in God as you believe in a car. Let what you see teach you. Let what you see teach you. Learn from what you see. If you cannot buy something without seeing it, why are you believing in God without seeing God? Because they tell you God is a spirit. You're stupid to believe that. Did God tell you he's a spirit? Let God himself tell you he's a spirit, not somebody telling you that God is a spirit. Any God you believe in was told by somebody to you. You will not know, God told you about him or her or it. It is people always speaking for God, and you keep believing them. And some of you are ready to hate and kill in the name of that God. It's when you see, then you make right decision. You don't see, you believe, you become vulnerable. They can dupe you, they can do anything. That's why they can control you. And because now they hold you by the balls, anywhere they move, you move with them. Mumu, Olodo, you just following them anywhere. Mbada. And you are the one they will use fighting for them, defending them in the name of God. They tell you blessed are those who believe without sin. It's a lie. Deceived are those who has not seen yet believe. Believing without seeing is stupidity. You are believing, yet you are not seeing what you have been believing. You are stupid. Continue believing. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. It can never be possible. Then something that maybe you like happens. Hey, no, it's not. It's not. It's supposed to be what it is. Somebody tell you to sow seed money, and you will reap hundredfold. You sow seed of money, and the person tell you, no, the seed you will reap is health. The seed, I mean, the what you will reap is favor. No, you reap what you sow. If you give money, you reap money. And if you give money without reaping money, why are you continuing sowing? Don't you see they scam you? That's why Oyedepo can have offshore account, you know, with his family members, but not with all his members. If Oyedepo truly believe there is heaven and he will go to heaven, he will never have such account. There's no true follower of Jesus Christ of the Bible that I know, the Jesus of the Bible that I know. There's no true believer or true worshiper of Jesus Christ that will own anything in this world. None of them. That's why when you look to people like Pastor Kumu, you know he's a scammer. Adeboye, Michael, Koko, all those ministers of God, Chris or whatever, all of them, they are criminals. If they are true followers of Jesus Christ, they will not own anything, nothing. They will be poor church rats. But they discuss that name now. They don't want to. Before, pastors were wearing that name with honor. Poor church rats. And you see them, they all they know is about God, Jesus, taking care of people. But today, pastors are rich. I serve a rich girl. I'm dangerously rich. Come on, can't you see? I have my private jet. What do your father have? And that's how people carry them. So when you speak out about the evil they are doing, their poor followers will say it's because they are rich. That's why you are envious. You envy them. Fuck all of you. How long will you believe without seeing? How long? How long will you allow somebody to be duping you, scamming you? You keep believing. How long will you believe without seeing? The disciple of Jesus, no, show us the Father. That would be enough. Every time you open your mouth telling us, my father, my father, my father, let us see this Father. That's why when they get arrested, they run away. Because this guy cannot prove what he's saying. And the same Jesus that tell you endure to the end. He could not even endure to the end. To the end. Jesus did not endure to the end as he preached. He never practiced what he preached. He said endure to the end. And he said they slap you on this cheek, turn to the other one. Those two things he never did. They slap him, he said, come on, what did I do now? Why are you slapping me? No, turn the other one. He did not turn the other one. Then on the cross, he cried. The guy that said endure to the end. He cried, my God, why has thou forsaken me? He was a failure. And you're following him. But those criminals are not following Jesus. If you see the people that are truly following Jesus, they are poor and wretched, just like Jesus. Because Jesus said to his disciples, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth. Not blessed are the rich. You need to grow up. How long will you believe without seeing? You need to grow up. As a child, your parents taught you faith. Your guidance taught you faith. Whoever brought you up or wherever you grew up, that's where they taught you faith. Faith was never your choice. You were not born with any iota of faith in you or belief. No. Nobody was born with faith in God. But now, as an adult, you need to learn facts and live by them. Factual truth. A child is a slave, but an adult with knowledge is no longer a slave. You free yourself. You know better. You are no longer under the guidance or under the control of your parents. You are now an adult, a grown man, a grown woman. You can make your own judgment. You don't need to believe without seeing. You demand to know. Blind faith is stupid. Blind faith does not make you intelligent. It simply means that you are still stupid. But no condition is permanent, which you know is my motto. That's why I'm encouraging you today to grow up and trash everything belief, trash everything faith, trash everything invisible. Dare to know. It's people with knowledge that are building the world. It is people with knowledge that are saving the world. Be the savior that you really need to see. You have all it takes to build. You have all it takes to change this world, but it starts with you. When majority of us wake up, that's where how we can join hands together and destroy this evil system that we are in now, and bring back the system of our great ancestors, where everyone is equally blessed and doing things together, not maybe seeing others as masters and some as slaves. No. Wake up, my people. If it requires faith, it is a lie, it is a scam, and it is fake, designed to deceive and rob you and control you. But when you are armed with knowledge, they cannot get you. There is no force that can make me give any money to any man of God, to anything they pack God on it. In fact, anywhere I go, any meeting I go, or any group I find myself in, immediately they mention God. Just say, thank God, I am out. Hmm. I was about to listen to Chiwetalago one day, his interview in a BBC Igbo. And they asked him, okay, Chiwetalago, greet the people, the listeners. Oh man, they say greet people, just greet people. He said, I thank God, blah, blah, blah. God is the reason why we're here, blah, 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 blah. At the end, there he say, in Jesus' name. I never listened to it again till today. It turns me off. And that's how it is. That's how it should be. We must trust God because that is part of our problem. The reason why we are suffering today is because of God. And until you see that, you are part of the problem. If you still don't see that religion is at the root of our problem, you are part of the problem. You are still bewitched, kinda. But I'm happy that you can hear me today. Think so you don't stink. God